everyone, so today I thought I'd go over some duct tape basics. I'm going to do a series of different duct tape techniques for those of you who are just starting out. So I'm zoomed out pretty far so you guys can get a good view of my mat here. What I'm going to be using for this tutorial, this is just going to be on how to make duct tape sheets, and that's it. So what you're going to need is some duct tape, an X-Acto knife or something to cut with, a ruler, and cutting mat. If you don't have a cutting mat, you can just use the ruler. It's just you have to measure and then cut. So the measurements that I need today is 6.5 by 8 1/4, and that's for a wallet. But I'm going to go ahead and round up to 7 by 9. And then it's up to you whether or not you want to round up or if you want to go for making it exact so you don't have to, so you don't waste as much product. I know some people don't like to do that, but it's all preference. So I'm just going to line it up with my edge, lay the first piece down, and then I'm going to mark it at 6.5. I'm going to mark it at 9. And I'm going to build a solid sheet all the way up to 9 inches. At the top though, I'm going to, and all I'm doing is overlapping each piece as I lay it down. So there's a little bit of an overlap here. And I'm just trying to keep it straight and as little wrinkles as I possibly can. And then for this last bit, I'm going to actually go up a little bit and fold it over. So right now with that piece, I'm at just under 7 inches. So now I'm going to pick this up from the bottom, and I'm going to rotate the whole thing, and I'm going to take that top piece and I'm going to actually fold that down a little over half. Starting in the middle, I then push out and smooth one side and then the other, and that prevents air bubbles from forming here on the top seam. Now when I'm actually making the wallet, this seam is going to be the seam that's showing for the pockets. If you don't want this seam, then you do not have to do the folding over part of this. It just gives you a nice edge to work with when you're making your wallet or whatever. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my duct tape and I'm going to actually just rip it by hand at this point, and I'm going to lay it down and just go all the way down to the bottom. And again, I'm still smoothing out as I go down. I'm still overlapping. At the end, we'll go through and clean up all that edging to get the exact measurements that we need. And again, you don't have to do it this way. You can cut it to the exact size you want and lay it on top. I'm not very good at lining up my edges, so in order to make sure that I don't have any exposed edges, I use this technique. And everybody does it a little bit different. So at this point, there's a little bit of a lip here. I'm just going to flip that over and create my second seam. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just take my ruler, and I'm not measuring anything, and I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to start, and I'm going to drag it all the way through, and I'm just going to pull that away. I'm going to do the same thing on this side just to get rid of that sticky that's exposed. And now you have your duct tape sheet, which you can actually cut down to the size you want. So for this one, like I said, I needed 6.5 by 8 1/4. So what I'm going to do to get that measurement, I'm going to line it up at the bottom and at the side. And I'm just going to measure at 8 1/4. If you have jagged edges on one side or the other, you can take off just 1/4 of an inch here and 1/4 of an inch here to get your clean sides. My sides are fairly clean, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave that. So lining it up, taking the X-Acto knife and dragging it all the way down. Then I'm going to flip it the other way. And for this one, I need 6.5. So again, I'm going to line it up on the side as well as the bottom. Set that down at 6.5. Drag that all the way down. And that gives you your duct tape sheet. And then at the top here, you have your rounded edge. So that when you fold that over, you have one nice rounded side for your wallet or whichever project you're working on. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and as always, thank you for watching.